Wonderful. Thank you, Justin, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had a great tea break, and I'm here to inspire you and to bring hope. The Hope Factory, we're an enterprise and supply development organization, and we specifically form part of the nation building division of the South African Institute of Chartered Accountancy. And therefore, I want to start off with this definition of nation building that was, depicted by the Department of Arts and Culture. Listen to this carefully. It says, nation building is the process whereby a society with diverse origins, histories, languages, cultures, and religions come together towards eradicating the divisions and injustices of the past. Let me get this right. To foster unity and promote a countrywide conscious sense of being proudly South Africans, committed to the country. When I read that, I get excited about being a South African. When I read that, I think this is possible. It's possible for us to become united and to foster this sense of being proudly South African. But it's going to require us to be committed to our country. So it's really a call to all of us as South Africans to say, how do we build a better South Africa? How can we contribute to South Africa's economic growth, to South Africa's socio-economic challenges? We at the Hope Factory believe that this future is indeed possible, and that it's a future that can be filled with a lot of hope. But how do we do this? And I think all of us are in this room because we have one of the answers in terms of how we can build our country, and that's small business development, right? Small business development really is a key driver for economic growth in our country. It is an opportunity for job creation and also addressing some of the very key socioeconomic challenges that we all face. A very significant quote by Lindiwe Zulu, the Small Business Development Minister, says, the long-term solution to South Africa's unemployment crisis is to create a nation of entrepreneurs and not a nation of job seekers. And I think we all come from that. I had a conversation with someone just now and said, I grew up where being an entrepreneur was looked down upon. You go to school, you study, and you get a job. That's how it's meant to be. But I think all of us in this room have recognized that entrepreneurship, in fact, is a very viable career option. Entrepreneurship can create the jobs that our economy needs. Entrepreneurship can stimulate economic growth in our country. And that's why we exist as the Hope Factory. So our vision really is just to play an active role in economic transformation in South Africa. And we specifically do this through advancing, and very importantly, the sustainable growth of entrepreneurial black businesses in our country. And I'm going to chat to you a little bit about what does that sustainable growth look like for entrepreneurs. So we've identified 3 areas of development: personal leadership development, business skills mastery, and financial excellence. And my advice to each one of you as entrepreneurs in the room and those involved in the SMME development space is to say, what can I do to grow my business and my entrepreneurship venture in these 3 areas? So firstly, if we look at personal development, so we at the Hope Factory believe that a business is only as strong as the individual that owns or manages that business. So you've got to identify, what is my strength? How do I capitalize those strengths? What are my weaknesses? And what do I do to overcome some of those weaknesses? I thought this is such a powerful quote. It says, the type of person you are is usually reflected in your business. To improve your business, first improve yourself. So that's my first advice to you all here this morning, is to look at how can I improve myself to improve my business. Secondly, business skills mastery. Business knowledge. Many of us know how to do the skill, the expertise that we want to do in business. I may be a great baker, I'm a great builder, so I'm going to do a construction business. But how much do I really know about the intricate details about being a business owner? The marketing strategy, the administration, the operations side. There's so much involved in the business. I always say I'm so grateful that even though I promote entrepreneurship, I don't have to be an entrepreneur myself, because it's a tough journey. It's a difficult journey. Why? Because you especially when you start up, you're not just the business owner. You're the HR manager, you're the finance manager, you're the marketing manager. You are all those things. So the more you can equip yourself with business knowledge and business skills, the better the chance of success for your business and the better chance of growth for your business. James Bryce said, 3/4 of the mistake a man makes are made because he does not really know the things he thinks he knows. Sometimes we think we know a lot about business. Sometimes we think we've learned enough and we can stop learning. But learning is definitely a continuous process. And my encouragement to you today is see what is there that you still need to learn about business to help your business grow. And then thirdly, financial excellence. So at the Hope Factory, we don't necessarily believe in handing out capital investments into businesses, but we strongly believe that you need the financial skills and knowledge to manage your finances well. From things like costings, all the way through to record keeping, profit margins, and really being able to, at the end of the day, if you get that management accounts from your accountant, what does this mean? What is the financial state of my business? Am I in a good space, or do I need to look at adjustments that I need to make to ensure that I'm going to be still able to keep my doors open next month? So financial excellence, the basic economic resources, the means of production is no longer capital, nor natural resources, nor labor. It is and will be knowledge. So even within a financial aspect, sometimes when we think about finances, we just think about the bottom line. We think about what's coming in and going out of my business. Yes, that's important. But do I understand what I need to do to ensure that that which is coming out and coming in, going out and coming in, is actually being managed well? And that's what we focus on when we teach about financial excellence. So this holistic approach to business development is what we've seen over the years have created success after success in the entrepreneurs that we've supported at the Hope Factory. One story, lovely gentleman, Zakumzi Bambalaza, who owns Limelight Cabs, but he didn't always. He used to have a car that was so old that everyone in his neighborhood thought he drives a Dukaleza service. Some of you will know what that is. So eventually he thought, well, maybe I should. So he started charging people for giving them lifts, but he only charged them enough to cover his petrol cost. And after a while, he thought, maybe this can become a business. And he appointed his first driver, started charging a bit more money so he can start making profit. Eventually, after a couple of years, he got known about the Hope Factory, and he's been a part of our program for a couple of years. And through the principles of personal development, personal business and financial development, he's now learned how to be a professional business owner. He owns Limelight Cabs. It's a professional shuttle and transport services in Port Elizabeth. And what he does is he actually transports guests from hotels to the airport. He's even a registered Uber driver, and he's really grown his business from leaps and bounds. All of his cars have onboard cameras in, he's got walkie-talkies between his different drivers, and he's really operating a professional business. And it was because he took his business serious and said, I'm going to take these 3 principles and I'm going to apply them to my business. You can find him on social media. He's there. So at the Hope Factory, we look at 3 impact measures. We say after a 12-month incubation program, once an entrepreneur has been on our program, have they created jobs? Have there been an increase in job creation? And over the past 3 years, we've seen on average about a 33% growth in jobs through the various entrepreneurs that's been on our programs. Also, increase in turnover, because eventually increase in turnover will lead to increase in profit. We've seen 57% increase in annual turnover and 52% increase in profitability over the past 3 years. We've also identified the important role of mentoring, and mentoring really being a critical aspect of business growth. And what does that look like? It's really saying that each entrepreneur needs to identify someone that can be a trusted advisor into their business. And I know that can be quite a daunting thought, because it means you need to trust someone enough to share with them both your successes, but also your weaknesses. What is it that I'm struggling with, so that someone else can help you to achieve success in that particular area? But it's so important to find the right person. And at the Hope Factory, for every entrepreneur that joins our program, we set up that personal relationship between a business mentor, and we call them business consultants, that we've identified that will be best suited to the entrepreneur and the needs of the entrepreneur. And we create this one-to-one, face-to-face relationship where the entrepreneur and the business mentor can really have a journey together that will help them to success. So those of you who are sitting in the room and you don't have a business mentor, go and find one or come speak to us at our stand at the Hope Factory. Our project manager, Ashley Murray, made this statement. She says, an entrepreneur without a mentor is like a business without a plan. Why? Because the mentor provides that direction and that guidance that sometimes you can't see because you're too closely involved in your business. So you sometimes need that objective bird's eye view into your business and how you can move that business forward. Another example where mentoring really made a beneficial difference is this individual owning Citrus Green Solution. His name is Mosa Dikoba, and he joined the Hope Factory program in about 2014. He said the following. He said, the most beneficial aspect of business mentoring for me has been developing a new business strategy together with my business mentor. As a result, my business has experienced exponential growth, gaining a new client every month last year, and that was in 2016, and he honestly did. In the 12 months of 2016, every month he gained a new corporate client for his industrial cleaning business. That resulted in him creating 23 jobs in that period of time. He also was able to open a number of national branches because of the growth that he experienced in his business. If you speak to him today, beginning of September 2017, he'll tell you, my business has now grown that I'm employing over 60 people. But with that comes challenges. He had his first strike a while ago of his employees. Who have heard of a small business owner with strikes? That's a reality when you start employing more people. So we had to make sure that he had the right business mentor that gave him the advice. How do I overcome some of these labor challenges? And that's the support that we can provide small business owners like Musa. Another example, Violet Lipuana. I don't think I've ever heard about someone that's excited that they are now a VAT registered vendor. And she was thrilled. And the reason was because now my business is operating a turnover of more than 1 million annually. And that for her was a huge success. She actually, in fact, increased the profit margin from a loss in the previous year to making a profit of, or an annual turnover of over 1 million within one financial year. And that's the kind of growth that you can see when the following happens. True transformation and effective small business development, we believe, is only possible through collective collaborative approach. And this is where you'll have the public sector, private sector, business development services like the Hope Factory, as well as entrepreneurs, all coming together with something that I like to call collective efficacy. So it's that shared belief that business development in South Africa can indeed make a measurable difference in our country's economic and socioeconomic situations. So through entrepreneurship, if we all come together in these different sectors, we can create a platform that can ensure this entrepreneurship growth. One platform that the government did put in place that assists this whole process is the BBBE codes. For some, it's a daunting thought. It's a challenging aspect for corporate companies, but it creates wonderful opportunities for small business development and growth. And in particular, through two of the elements, enterprise and supply development, as well as socioeconomic development. And Lance earlier mentioned a bit of that from City of Cape Town when he spoke. And what we do at the Hope Factory, in addition to the business development programs that we run, we also offer solutions to corporates within the BBBE space. So we say, how can we create this collaboration? How can we find corporate companies that inevitably, to improve their BE status, need to spend money on enterprise and supply development, and we can link them up with entrepreneurs that have development potential, entrepreneurs that have the ability to grow if they have the right support alongside of them. And we then create something we call customized solutions or tailored solutions that can fit both the corporate company as well as the entrepreneur that's needing the development. And that's exactly how we currently operating in the Cape Town market, is looking for these customized project opportunities to set them up to ensure growth. And obviously, as I mentioned, then the corporates do earn the points on their BE scorecard. So it's really a collaborative approach that could become a win-win for all parties involved if it's approached correctly. So my call to you is to say, join the Hope Factory in building hope in our nation. And we do this through high-impact entrepreneurial development. We at the Hope Factory really believe that a future where entrepreneurs thrive is a future, or a better future, for everyone. And lastly, to the entrepreneurs in the audience, I would just like to say, when you think you can't go any more, when you think it's enough, when you think your business is going nowhere, stick it out. And just remember why you started in the first place. Because many of us start businesses because we're passionate about a particular area. And business is not hard. But keep on going and you will eventually make it. We are on social media. We do have a stand outside. So please feel free to come and chat to us about how can we together grow entrepreneurship in our country. Thank you very much.